Good evening, class. Today we're going to be learning how to make chocolate chip cookies. We have the fabulous Maya back, and she's going to be doing this again for you. Before you get started, you want to make sure that your oven is preheated. We want to preheat our oven to 350 degrees. I know the recipe calls for 375, but 350 degrees I found cooks them a little bit better. Once you get that, you're going to gather all your ingredients and measure them out before you start mixing anything. You're going to need 1 cup of butter, 2 eggs, 3/4 cups of granulated sugar, 3/4 cups of brown sugar, 2.5 cups of all-purpose flour. Make sure it's not self-rising. You're going to need 1 teaspoon of salt, 1 teaspoon of baking soda, and 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract. You're also going to need, at the very end, 2 cups of chocolate chip cookies. Okay, and we're going to use a tabletop mixer with this. You can also use it in a handheld mixer if you like, but we found it better with the tabletop mixer. We need to go ahead and lift the lever for the tabletop mixer up. Just pick it up. It's already released. Okay. Inside that bowl, we're going to add our cup of butter and both of our sugars. Again, it's a lot easier to use this if you have one. If you do not, you can go ahead and use your handheld mixer again. All right, you're going to grab your vanilla extract and pour it in there as well. All right, you're going to lock down your mixing. Okay, you need to put that bowl on and turn it clockwise until it doesn't move. Other way. Push it. There you go, it's locked into place. Now you're going to plug in your mixer. Whenever that mixing handle goes up, make sure it's unplugged. Always make sure it's off before you plug it in. That's the reason why, because if you don't, you could hurt yourself. Okay? Once that, you're going to do what's called creaming that together. Once that gets creamed together, you're going to start cracking your eggs and adding them one at a time. One thing I would suggest, get a little bowl to crack your eggs into so you can make sure that the shells are not involved in there. Okay, and you're going to add your eggs to your mixture one at a time. Okay. Okay, double check your bowl, make sure it's locked into place. Can you move it? It's locked? Okay. Alright, get your rubber spatula, and then you're going to stop your mixer and then scrape everything down to the sides. Remember, when that when you lift that handle up, it's unplugged. Do it with 2 hands so you don't throw it off the counter when you do it. All right, scrape everything down into the bowl, and then you're going to add half of your flour mixture. Scrape the sides of the bowl. You primarily want to scrape the sides more than anything to get everything down in there. And now while it's still up, add half of your flour mixture. Sit that on your plate so it doesn't get everywhere. Wait. Go ahead and add the baking soda and the salt to your mixture. Always add it to the flour. Okay, you're gonna put it inside. Put it inside, half inside there. Shake your bowl a little bit more. Okay, now we're gonna plug it back in, get everything started. Good job checking to see if it was off. Turn it on stir. Okay, once that flour starts mixing in, you want to go ahead and add the rest of your flour mixture. You can add it while it's still on. Use your spatula to kind of scrape it. Okay, now try to finish it off by pouring it in there yourself. Shake it a little bit. There you go. And once that flour disappears, you're going to immediately add your 2 cups of chocolate chips. You can overmix this, so you don't want to run it for a long period of time. Once you get the entire amount in there, you're going to stop it, because if you keep mixing it, it's going to turn brown. A little bit more. Go ahead and put your bowl down. All right. If it gets stopped, you can turn it up 1 notch. Turn it up 1 notch. There you go. All right, now you can turn it off. Once your cookie dough is done, this is what you want to see. It's going to be stuck there. All the flour's gone. There's no wet mixture in there. Now you're going to scrape that all into your bowl and get it ready to put on your sheet trays. You can either use a non-stick dark sheet tray, or you can use parchment paper on top of a normal tray. Never ever use cooking spray once you put that on the tray. Consistency is the key when making these. Each dough ball should look like the other. You should have at least 12 for each sheet pan. It should be a nice small purple handled scoop that we use. That's basically a tablespoon. If you don't have one of these available, it's basically a tablespoon size with a nice rounded top so that you can get nice sized cookies on your cookie sheets. Once you get 2 sheets available, you should have your oven racks, one placed directly in the middle of the oven and one placed towards the bottom of the oven. And then you want to put 1 rack on each one. And you want to set your timer for 9 minutes. Remember, whenever you're baking cookies, it's 911, between 9 and 11 minutes. Okay, once our timer goes off, we're going to go ahead and open the oven. And you check your cookies. You're not cooking the cookies to cook the tops brown. The edges of the cookies have to be brown, not the tops. So these are not ready. I estimate that they should need about another 3 minutes in there. All right, our first tray is ready. Very valuable lesson to have. Never put another tray of cookies in before the second one is done. You want both of these trays of cookie to be done and take them out together. If you start baking another tray of cookies, they're not going to be done when you open your oven. Each time you open your oven, you lose some heat, and that throws off your cooking, off your baking. And baking is essentially a science. So you have to make sure you're consistent. So once the other cookies come out, I'll put the last trays in and we'll be done. Notice around the edges here are nice and brown. Again, we're not trying to make the tops brown. We have to make the bottoms brown because they cook from the bottom up. And of course, you've guessed it, this one was on the bottom rack of your oven. So the one on the top rack should be done in another minute or so. Enjoy.